Welcome, everybody, to Generation Dan, the weekly podcast. Weekly? Sort of weekly. Podcast where about generational differences. And this is the first time I couldn't come up with anything involving bubbles. I couldn't do it! I couldn't fucking do it! I'm sorry.
126 episodes. And
and I finally failed.
Well, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. Atlas out here living that teacher vacation.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Definitely.
Absolutely.
I got 3 weeks off. But like most of the hand paint waving, it's in our Christmas break bubble. Yeah, that's kind of what I had as the idea for the episode.
Yeah.
So, the bubble that like bubbles that we get stuck in. So whether it's me being off for 3 weeks, or when you get sick, and there's the like. You can't do anything else besides sleep and vomit and shit your brains out or whatever you have.
Yeah.
So you just kind of have to be in your bubble while the world goes by without you.
Which is like, I feel like I'm starting to enjoy that. But at the same time, like I have I don't know, that whole like, no, life has more for you. And I'm like, oh,
yeah.
No. I'm kind of liking just watching things for now. I don't, I'm just trying to get healthy.
This is the one thing I liked about early COVID was the whole world was stuck in that bubble, and there was nothing to do besides like you weren't seeing your peers, your friends, your acquaintances move on without you by doing whatever thing. It was all just like, get a sourdough starter and sit around for a few weeks while we wait for this to finish. And then it took 2 years. So
that's the thing is I'm always perplexed at who got weird, because everyone got a little bit weird, but some people went really far with it. And you're like, doesn't sound healthy. And people are like, this is my entire new image. You're like, okay, it's not high school. Let's calm down. Because just relax. There's no peer pressure. Everything that is just, people get weird.
In Greek mythology, the reason that Achilles' heel was his weak point was that his mom dipped him in the river Styx when he was a baby, holding him by his heel.
That's
as
correct.
you know, Greek man. And
I am aware.
You have to like. There's no way that Achilles, for the rest of his life, was not like, I saw some shit in there. Yeah. I couldn't even read yet, and I was seeing things you can't imagine.
So it's funny because I was talking about that with somebody else earlier, just in regular conversations, because that's normal. And I'm like, so I've been to the house of Achilles, right? It's on the island of Corfu. What is it? I wish I would have been monetizing YouTube during that early bubble.
Like early COVID? Definitely. Yeah, that would have been crazy.
That's absolutely. That's a legend. I looked it up.
He's saying that about the Achilles thing.
Yeah. But like there are 2 statues. One is him lying down, and another one is him in kind of like a fighting outfit. And I'm like, and people are like, that's supposed to be how big he was. And you see it, and you're like, bro, this motherfucker was like 13 feet tall. You're like, what? And the weird part is like both statues are this like the same dimension person in different poses. You're like, it's so meticulous to how big it is. And I'm like, you're like, he was a great warrior. I'm like, I bet the fuck he was. He's probably fucking throwing people around by their heads.
I love the idea of like someone coming up with a spear and he just kind of picks them up by the head and throws them
like
another dude.
It's
like how Shrek fights,
Yeah, it's exactly how it is, right?
But the idea, like normally around this time of year on Generation Dan, we'll do like, Christmas with the fucking family or whatever. And I wanted to talk about what it's like during the weird, almost like just coming out of that bubble into the like going back into real life. Because this last weekend I went to a regional for Vanguard, the trading card game that I play, and I've been doing the regionals. Shut up. I've been doing the regionals for trading card games since I was 14. Used to be Yu-Gi-Oh, then later Vanguard, and every single time from age then to now, so this is like 15 years at this point.
Yeah,
I will get existential dread during that time because during that weekend, it's usually both days, and during that weekend, that's all you're focusing on is playing this game. And I always get existential dread because I'm like, what if like people get mad at me for being here, or like
why would it?
Back then it was like I get homework done for school, and then now it's like, oh, Katie's going to be mad at me because I'm doing this thing, and it never ends up being the case. But it's still like you're in a bubble for that entire weekend of like just focusing on this thing.
Huh.
Regional, con, whatever.
Yeah.
Like, going to a convention.
Yeah, that's a horrible way of thinking there, bro.
Yeah. And like, I know it's wrong because it never ends up being the case, but it's just the 14-year-old brain left over that was always like, because, before I could drive, it was a family member driving me and they weren't happy being stuck there all day.
That is, oh God. Okay. So, okay. Similarly, I guess this might be a generational thing.
Okay.
Is like, for myself, it's more so that if something doesn't go according to plan or schedule or whatever, then I immediately, my brain goes to what's the worst possible thing that could happen, right?
Okay.
And it's like, oh, they're in a car accident. Oh, they can't get in contact with me. Oh, something's happened. They're in danger or something immediately. And then I'm like, well, or, it's, the end of the day, there is traffic. It's a normal thing to be delayed. It's not, unreasonable. But like you have that with people, and that's horrible. Like that's much more like, but I have it for situations, but you have it for like interactions, which I'm like, that's
And I'm thinking about me being the missing one, not worrying about someone being missing. And it never ends up being true. Like, I confessed this to my friend who came with me this last weekend. Shout out Root Beer. And he was like, "That's not normal." I'm like, "I know it's not normal. I never want to feel that way." And it was like everything else went fine. Like we had a good time and then came home and then that was it. Like, to the point where Katie was having her bachelorette party as we were doing this, and she's like, "Don't come home because I will be drunk out of my mind stumbling around the apartment. Do you really want, both of you being in there?" And I'm like,
eating cheese just right out of the fridge. Delicious.
Yeah. So we stayed in a hotel and it was fine. Like, so like, so even when she was saying, "Don't come home, I'm doing this thing, it's going to be loud and disruptive," and then I still felt that feeling of being in the bubble. It's like FOMO, but like instead of missing out, it's
miscommunicating.
No, not even that. Just like fear of
possibility
not having done what I was supposed to do, or I don't know.
That's even worse.
Yeah,
Atlas, you got
that's a unique scenario. I think I don't really get that with anything else.
That's fucking hilarious. You know what? Like it's such a weird thing. What like that? I always come into things and I'm like, oh, I'm the psycho here. And Victoria has said more than once, she's like, you are always the weirdo in people's experience. And I'm like, what the fuck does that mean? And then like you say stuff like that, and I'm like, oh, that's much worse. That's much worse. No, I'm more so that I'm bad at predicting things logically, right? So if something doesn't go to plan, I'm like, I can easily adapt. That's not the issue. It's more so that my concern is what has caused the delay, and then I just spiral into madness.
Yeah. So like during that holiday bubble,
yes,
what usually happens for you? What do you usually do? with the 1 week off a year most people get. If
So
that.
We would have like a lunch here,
Mm-hmm.
which I think we're doing on Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
And then also I try and visit with my cousin and my nieces and nephews.
Mm-hmm.
And they always have people over and stuff. Like, it was weird during COVID because I just started to get a better relationship with them.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's kind of gone to shit just
Oh.
because we couldn't hang out. And I was like, but I'm like, I feel like, and at the same time, I'm not really one to be like, hey, are you guys doing something? Can I come? Like, I feel like a loser doing that, right? So, but then I'm just like, hey, like, I started changing my perspective. I'm like, hey, is something happening for thing, or are you guys doing your own thing? Like, I try not to be inclusive. I get 8 weeks annual leave and 4 weeks sick leave. Jesus fuck, that's nice.
That's really good.
Yeah.
And that's not just him being a YouTuber. No, kidding.
That's when he focuses on his shows.
Like, okay, so now that I'm a teacher and I have this 3-week vacation,
Yeah.
I gave myself, like, okay, there's wedding planning interspersed throughout all this, so it's not
Of course.
the norm, but
Well, it is. Like, a wedding consumes your entire life.
yeah. But like, aside from that, what I wanted to like get done was 4 things. 2 of them had to do with like stuff for next semester for my job, which shouldn't take me too long.
Horrible idea. Go
Yeah.
ahead.
Other 2 were walk a mile 5 days a week
Walk a mile.
and finish a draft of the pilot.
Well, look at that.
Yeah.
Weddings are way overthought by most.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, no, definitely.
That is 100% where I'm like, your wedding consumes your life.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I've had that feeling a few times. You show up, get fucked up, say I do, get more drunk. I mean, yeah, that's a good wedding.
If the amount of stress from wedding planning
Yeah.
was physically visible, you could make a diamond out of it.
Yeah.
That's why you give a diamond to your beloved. It's because the stress of wedding planning condenses carbon into a diamond.
That was a few things that happened with our wedding was having the experience of having done that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm like, listen, it's a lot. You don't have. I'm like, we talked about doing fancy cutlery and stuff like that, and I'm like, hey, I have a question. She goes, yeah. I go, we can do that, or we can use that money for the food. And she goes, well, I want both things nice. I go, well, have you ever been to a wedding and someone goes, wow, did you see their cutlery? It was amazing. You're like, no, nobody gives a shit, right? Like, it's not a like, but people go and be like, man, the food you had at your wedding, that was good shit. And you're just like, yeah, I pick good food because I'm a fat guy. That's how it works. That's my superpower. You sure? Yeah. No,
you should break even on the wedding, even make money. It depends. We will.
I'm not giving him shit. Okay? His gift is my experience and the razzle dazzle I bring, you bastard.
That statement is just coconuts. Do not need professional video people and photo people. Yeah, pretty much. We have like the guy, like a guy, a dude. You know,
great. That's fantastic. I would actually tell people, like, hey, please make sure to not use your pictures. We're going to be taking pictures, and hopefully we'll have some to distribute at a later date. But
unfortunately, there's a Instagram hashtag, so I'm sure there's going to be like a good number of people.
But like, so just be like, hey, can you guys like, or keep the photography to a minimum, just so that the professional can do their job. If you get in the professional's way, they're allowed to poke you in the face. Like,
yeah,
that's definitely like one of those things.
It's weird.
Gifts should be $100 to $200 depending on how much, you know. I've already spent more than that, and a lot more, like a significant amount more already.
I'm
lucky my wife loves me.
It's funny, the wedding planning is a bubble within the holiday bubble.
Oh, definitely.
Like,
Oh, yeah.
We're like, okay, everyone else is doing I gotta shop for presents for my loved ones and all that stuff, and then we're like, okay, we're kind of putting that to the side while we deal with like seating charts and whatever everyone's meal choices and crap like that.
It was just horrible.
Yeah.
That's
So,
horrible.
so we're just like, okay, last year my birthday kind of got shoved to the side because we had to go meet with the wedding planner at the Madonna Inn. So we stayed at the Madonna Inn for my birthday.
Yeah, okay.
And then so at the same time, this year's holiday season is kind of shoved to the side because we're wedding planning.
Yeah. But that's okay. So I understand your I guess frustration with that, but it's more so that like
I know I'm not frustrated with it. I just acknowledge that that's what happened.
bro, you
Oh
put
my
chicken
god, he won't shut up. Leave it alone. Just leave it alone.
Yeah. Oh god.
Yeah. Leave him alone. It's fine.
Fuck, they do it personally, bro. It's a lot of work to plan a party, and you know what? It's nice to have professionals to help.
It's a lot of work, and I have a fiance that like has anxiety attacks. Like,
yeah,
we need a wedding planner.
Yeah, that's fine.
Shut up. See
See
what I mean? Like it's all
the millions, all the millions.
It's all consuming of like our attention and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So this week Katie still has like her school is still in, so I'm home all day this whole week. So that's what I've been trying to do is like in the times that I've done that, it's like working on the pilot and then for her Christmas present, I'm starting a photo album.
Oh,
so
nice.
I had her family send me pictures, and then CVS you can still like print out photos.
Oh yeah,
yeah. So I'm gonna do that and just be like giant photo album. And
that's a cool gift.
Yeah,
cool gift. Yeah, I find that like I prefer the idea of making a gift with your bare hands or ish over like stuff you could buy. I'm like, no, we're adults. If you want something, just buy it. Like that's not
the closer you look to Paul Bunyan, the more your opinion trends that way. And Dino looks like Paul Bunyan looking ass for people just listening to the episode.
Kind of accurate. Yeah, that's that's not wrong. That's not wrong. Yeah.
Joey, who's been spamming the comments section this whole time, Paul Bunyan looking ass.
Oh yeah, he's more Paul Bunyan. He definitely looks like Paul Bunyan. That's for sure. You can get the big posters, many pictures on them. Yeah, I mean, and also doing a hashtag is a great idea.
Mm-hmm.
But tell people, just make sure people be like, hey, if you're going to take pictures, please stay in your seats.
That's good.
All right. That way you get a little more like, you don't take pictures, it's fine, but like stay in your zone. Don't fucking walk around. There's shit going on. Okay.
One thing
married here, motherfucker.
Yeah, I mean, like, there's that, but my philosophy on like the photo album and also just photo albums in general, looking at other people's stuff, it's always like, oh, we went to fucking Sears or whatever, put on the same outfit, and here's our Christmas card.
Yeah.
And my family never did that. It was always, oh, the kids are covered in maple syrup because they're 4 and figured out the baby proofing on the cabinet. I'm grabbing the camera before I clean them up because that's hilarious. Like, that's all of our photo albums is just us looking stupid or like we're having fun. And I think that makes for better photos than just like, oh, we're all in like a red sweater.
Yeah.
I've always dreamed of spamming a wedding hashtag. Joey, if you do that, I will come back to Ohio and I will punch you in the face.
Yeah. Joey, you got to go wear like a tuxedo shirt and just be like all selfies of it. Just be like, oh, smoking up Atlas wedding. Yeah. Yeah. I'll hashtag Joey. Are you kidding me?
Just
like
take it with her.
Ricardo Montalban. I might do that at the wedding itself.
That's not a bad idea. Just walk around with a big poster you got from CVS. And of Ricardo Montalban.
We have big posters. Did I ever tell you the story that we got for our wedding picture? Is a buddy of mine who actually passed away. He had was the guy who illustrated, like, do you remember the cartoon Beetlejuice?
Yeah.
Yeah, he drew that.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
He actually has like an Emmy and stuff like that. Like, yeah. He was actually one of the guys that made Paw Patrol.
Wow.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
Yeah. So yeah, he actually had lost his job with one company, and I was like, hey, can you hook me up with this? I'll invite you to my wedding. He's like, absolutely. So he came to the wedding, and we had big posters. It was like date night, that poster where it's Steve Carell and Tina Fey.
Yeah.
And they're like in shambles.
Yeah.
So we did that, but called it wedding night.
Oh my God, that's great.
Yeah. And then we got posters and stuff made up. It was actually pretty cool because we had our wedding in a theater.
That made I remember you talking about that. The do you remember the like mid to late 2000s trend of movies just being like the characters on a white background with black and red type, black and red like font?
What?
Four Christmases, Wedding Crashers, Date Night. They all have the same basic like layout of a movie poster.
What?
Okay.
What are you talking about right now?
Okay, so
I would never do such a. Oh yeah, Joey's definitely gonna do that such a thing. I have no idea what you're talking about. I have been hitting a vape pen all day, guys. So I'm high off my tits. I'm also on hour 69 of a fast. So
nice.
Yeah. So everything's wild. So what nonsense are you talking now?
Okay, so like just look at the movie poster where it's the same basic like layout, or it's just the two or more characters on a white background, and the title of the movie is always in red or black or both.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Zach
cool.
and Mary make a porno. Like it's just like the same basic thing. I don't know why it was a thing in like the late 2000s, early 2010s, but just was for whatever reason.
I did not know that was a real thing, but yeah, they look. But that's I think a lot of stuff does. They follow the same format. That's why it's always a level of regurgitation, right?
Yeah.
Right? People have to be more original, more passion.
Or it's the same producer.
Yeah, well, Michael Bay. I hate him. He ruined Transformers for me every damn time. Every damn time. He was like, yeah, this is how it's going to work. And I'm like, that's not a story. You're stupid. He's like, oh, we're just going to get these random people together. Yeah. And then boom. And you're like, you know what? Dude, go fuck yourself. I hate you. Mind you, I actually just got a new Transformer. And so I actually got two of them. So they're like actual combiners and stuff. Like it's a big fucking, it's a collector's edition type thing.
Half of me was like, I'm pretty sure he's talking about like the robots in disguise, but like,
yes,
there's 10% that could have been like the Transformer on his house for power. Like there's a little bit of me that was like, he could have been talking about that.
Do I give off those mad scientist vibes? Is that what I actually?
Just a little bit. Hence 10%.
Jesus. Transformer ruined itself when they had robots boxing. Absolutely true. And are Transformers actually trans?
Kind of.
No. Just like the Trans-Siberian Orchestra, no trans. They're not from Siberia.
I mean, trans is just like a prefix that means like what? A cross, right?
Listen, I don't want to put words in people's mouths, but you know, trans are the weird ones. That's it. Yeah, in fact, we're all weird. It doesn't make a difference. We're all a bunch of weirdos.
Not transgender. I just want the prefix trans. Prefix.
Yeah.
Across or beyond. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that makes sense.
Yeah.
Right?
It kind of. It's not what you're just like you think about it, Trans-Siberia. These are people from Siberia doing shit.
Yeah.
They're like, we traveled all over Siberia. I don't know, but it's then you're like, no, they're just fucking from New York, these assholes.
Mm.
It was entertaining, but
Are you an Archer fan at all?
I watched it in the beginning quite a bit, but I haven't watched in quite some time. But I still love the classics like "You're not my supervisor." I'm like,
Yeah.
that's a great line. I still use that all the time.
They just aired the series finale.
Oh, did they really?
Yeah. So after
Oh.
14 seasons, it's over, and
That's a lot.
I don't know. I again, this is what happens with shows where when you watch a show all the way through, you're in the bubble of the show, the world, and then when it ends, it's depressing, right? Where you're like,
it is absolutely.
Or you're like, I gotta go be a person again. And Katie's solution to that is just restart the show back over.
Yeah, I don't
which
like
is
that.
like I can't. That feels a little too
weird,
like crazy,
So this was I told you about this during the pandemic. At one point, I was watching Supernatural.
Yeah.
So Supernatural is 15 seasons, 20 to 22 episodes per season, and they're all like 50 minutes, 45 minutes per episode. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I blew through that in 18 days. And I'm like, that's every waking moment. And I wasn't sleeping properly. I was watching Supernatural. I just plowed through the entire thing. When it was done, I had that same feeling where you're like, I don't know what to do right now. Like,
I gotta go be a person again. Like
I can't. I'm like, what happened? I was in some sort of trance or something.
It should be noted that the finale, I guess it's a movie because it was like an hour long or like TV movie, whatever. Was called Into the Cold, and it's like
Into the Cold.
Yeah, and like I don't even know what that means.
The mustache.
He's talking about because I was I put up a video on the Nexus at Night channel, so my Vanguard channel, that we recorded on like the Sunday when we got back, and he was saying I'm back to looking like me, and I don't know what he's saying that I didn't look like myself when we got back on Sunday. Do you know what it is?
No.
It's because I hadn't showered that morning. So my hair was all fucked up from not showering. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. Because we got back and then we recorded that and then I took a shower afterwards.
I think you're freaking me out right now, you little bastard. Your weird ass fucking stories.
Sorry. But yeah, anyway, so Archer, now it's just like, it's just that's it. It's really sad on like subreddits, especially for TV shows that they're not making new stuff. So the rest of the posts for the end of time are going to be people posting like an image from an episode with the quote of what the character is saying as the title. Anytime one of the actors from that show has something new going on, they'll post it, like Judy Greer's doing this or H. John Benjamin, whatever. And then that's it. That's pretty much it for the end of time. Like I'm also subscribed to the How I Met Your Mother subreddit, and it's the same thing. Like,
yeah, but this is the thing is I feel like there are a lot of shows that went for a really long time that did not deserve to go that long. Like they just too much.
Yeah.
Right? Like How I Met Your Mother. I'm like, it's just getting weird. It's just, I'm gonna keep on telling the story, and you're like, this is really, really. I'm like, we're gonna double back 4 times? Let's calm down.
I think Archer could have ended at the end of season 6, which was after they finished working for the CIA, and then like season 7, they're PIs for that portion, and then seasons 8, 9, and 10 are all him in a coma, and it's the like weird dream stuff where like first he's like
Yeah.
hard boiled PI in the 40s, then it's on an island, and then it's in space, which the space one was pretty good. But like they were all strange, and I feel like it was important for the life of the show to continue because it was different.
Yeah.
Um, and then after that, it was season 11 was him like not all the way healed, like he was dealing with like his PT,
Yeah.
and that was kind of cool. Where it was like the world had moved on without him, and it was him coming out of the bubble. um,
Jesus.
and then seasons 12 through 14 where it was just kind of back to normal. Um, but like I feel like you could have ended it at season 6 and it would have been fine.
Well, you could have, right? Like it's a decent ending. Like looking back, it's more like, did you really have to go that far? Like it's kind of, I don't know.
They just kept FX kept renewing it, and they're like, okay, fine, we'll keep going.
Not showering sounds like a typical person at the LGs.
Yeah,
that seems reasonable.
He's talking about the like name of the
Yeah.
tournament, LGS. Yeah.
I couldn't tell.
I had showered the night before. Thank you
Yeah.
very much.
Oh.
But yeah, so it's like strange coming out of that.
Yeah, it's very strange.
So bubbles within bubbles within bubbles. Came out
Yeah.
of Archer, then we're in the holiday bubble, but I'm still in the wedding planning bubble even when the holidays end.
You're like a weird Venn diagram.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's yeah, man. Okay, but are you finding time for yourself? I think that's really important.
Yeah, definitely.
Then that's fine.
Yeah.
You're good.
No, I definitely love the feeling of your parents are at work while you're sick. That is my week this week while Katie's at work and I'm just here off, on break.
Yeah.
And yeah, instead of watching The Price is Right while I wait for Nick Jr. to end so I can watch SpongeBob or whatever.
Absolutely.
It's me just taking a walk or doing some stuff around the house that I have to do or like have wanted to do or tracking down these pictures. And
let's be honest though, you kind of seem like you're like, I'm an alien pretending to be a human, but I'm going to go for a walk.
Yeah, honestly, that's kind of what it is for the working people, especially in the US, because there's no extended time to yourself. So when you do get it, it feels like you're going insane and you're like, I'm not supposed to be here. The world is moving on without me.
Yeah.
There's
a huge, I think that also comes into like the whole idea that your wedding is coming up too, right? So you start thinking in a weird, like, not FOMO, but like now I'm kind of in like this weird race of existence because now I'm one of the married people. So that's a different kind of existence. Like no more sex parties unless they're really weird, stuff like that. You can't be as much of a pervert.
I'm not sure what your bachelor party was like, but
lots of breasts. It was great. I enjoyed it. Yeah. How could I not? Fantastic. I see. That's the one thing that I'm kind of frustrated with, but like, it's our vacation too, right? So we're gonna be coming and we got to go to Universal. I'm like, but it would have been nice to hang out the night before.
Yeah, Atlas at a sex party needs to be a skit. Oh hell yes, I would totally watch
a sex party
a sketch of just me awkwardly in an orgy, being like, so where do I?
Yeah.
Like,
do we high five? Like what?
Side? Well, no, it's not about having sex. It's like it feels so.
Oh, you weren't having sex. You're just gonna walk up and high five people. Just
that is exactly standing there by the lemonade bowl, not knowing what to do. That is exactly what's happened.
Yeah.
Joey's gonna read my mind.
Absolutely.
I imagine an orgy is kind of like that. You come out and like feeling good. That song is that Michael Bublé, right?
I'm feeling
good. Yeah, that one. Like that song should just be playing as you come out the next morning, like in a bathrobe. It's 11 a.m. Yeah.
having a great time. Yeah,
Yeah.
I feel like but that's just a fun party, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
even so, I went to a house party a couple weeks ago, and
What is this, 1986? What?
no, it was so much fun. But it
I'm
was just
kidding.
kind of like we're hanging out. There was music playing, and like we met a few new people. We had some conversations, and then we got high. And I drank like 8 beers, and yeah, smoked way too much of a joint, and I was off my tits. It was great.
Nice.
And then like, but we were talking about life stuff, and because I was hanging out with Kyle, and then another buddy from Hexwood came, and I was like, this guy's his name is Chris, and he's very much like, I gotta go pick up my daughter. See you guys later. Like and like he
I
was
love that. That's great.
no, it's not a bad thing, but like that was his response in a lot of situations. So like the fact that he came to a party and I'm like, what the fuck, bro? I'm like, he's like, I'm not away from life.
I
Like,
thought it was he was at the party with you guys, and then in the middle was like, "Gotta go pick up my daughter," and then leaves.
yeah, no. That's just on a regular work day. But
Oh, okay.
yeah. Which I'm like, hey man, absolutely, you gotta go pick up your daughter. That's it's not unreasonable, but that's why we need to play.
No. Just
What's that? Why can't we know that?
that particular like he says
spelling?
some weird shit. It's getting a little weird in the
We have
Discord.
all right. We have a reality show pilot called Regional Smash House. Me and my buddy Hernan. God, if the wives ever boot us, it's like the middle-aged real world, but more bare titty action. I mean, I'd watch that. Just seems like a great show.
Is it just like Naked and Afraid meets the real world, or like?
I feel like there's going to be a lot of naked dudes. I'm very uncomfortable around men who are very comfortable with their nudity. I'm like, no, you're weird. You're dirty.
There's a what's it called? There's like a Family Guy episode where he rescues somebody in the ocean, and then he's naked, and he assumes he just lost his bathing suit, right? And then when they go, he's like, "Let me, come over to my house for dinner as like a thank you." And then Peter and his family go over, and it turns out they're nudists.
What the fuck did you say? What happened? Sorry.
So like Peter assumed the guy that he rescued in the ocean who was naked had lost his bathing suit, but it turns out he's just a nudist. So when he goes over, the entire family's naked.
Oh, that's fucking weird.
No on-camera nudity.
There would be, you know what? Yeah, but so no on-camera nudity, but there would be nudity, and I'm not interested in that. It's just put your wiener away. Oh, weird, but your convo literally sounds like a concept for a cupcake song. I mean, I still don't know what that is, but I guess I'm not as much of a nerd. I don't know, but I want to show off my Transformers, but I'm like, I don't think that I can walk at this point.
Different kind of nerds. That's why.
Very
different kind of bubble.
I think Jesus, you love that word bubble, don't you?
It's a through line for this episode, and it's working for us. So
it is, well, like realistically, it is fucking. It's funny that like, especially during the pandemic, people are like, "Oh, I have my bubble," and I'm like, "My bubble is not a bubble. It's just 4 of us, so like 6 of us. That's it. No problem. We're here all day."
Oh yeah, I forgot about that concept. Right, the like stay in your bubble or whatever the thing was.
Yeah, well, like I don't know. It's like that was a weird concept. I'm like, that's not how any of that works. But like, I'm like, okay, listen. I saw Outbreak back in the day. And I'm like, listen, like we used to be huge movie people, and like we just started going back to movies like 6 months ago. Just because of Outbreak, when you watch it and you're like, yeah, that one fucker is in there and just achoo, and everybody gets sick. I'm like, yeah, fuck that shit.
Speaking of
what's the topic?
Movies, I need to go see The Boy and the Heron.
Oh, it was really good.
Yeah. What's the topic of the bubble are we talking about? Just like the bubble that we all get in, especially around the holiday season, where like you just kind of forget about your outside life for a while. Also talking about things like COVID, how that was a bubble, or like when you get sick, or whatever the thing.
Even
is.
When you're just sick at home, or like Also, like when you're on vacation, like that's a weird bubble. You make
That's
new
a
weird
bubble,
friends, and like it's just a weird, like it especially when they overlap, which is Atlas's main thing was like he's in a wedding bubble where they're planning the wedding and everything's crucial and everything is this is we got to do this, which is way more like after the fact you're kind of going, I don't think we had to do as much. Like that is a one thing that I brought to the table with Victoria. I'm like, hey, having gone through the experience with an even bigger wedding, trust me, this is the shit that's important. And she said, well, I want to do this one thing. And I'm like, okay, you can do that. But I'm not going to help you because that's a shitty time and nobody gives a shit.
I
and
think the thing. Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say at the end, she hadn't done it, but she still wanted it. And I'm like, and we had put it in like the planning. And I'm just like, okay, I'll just do it. And I just and did everything, right?
I think the thing I'm going to have to do the most on the weekend of the wedding is convincing Katie that like all the work has been done. It's a Rube Goldberg machine. Just let it happen. Instead of like, I guarantee you she's going to be like, but what about this? I'm like, just let it go. May we never go back to masking again. I hope so. I hope we never have to. But
I think that's an okay to like, hey, I'm not feeling well, so I'm going to wear a mask. I'm like, hey, I applaud you. Absolutely. Right. You know what? It's preventative.
Japan had that right, I think, where like if you're feeling like shit and just put a mask on, like it's fine. It's not to tell people it's for a wedding.
Go on, get.
Yeah, that I knew about. Yeah, don't tell them it's for a wedding. Tell them it's for something else.
Joey coming out here like he's a 1940s monster. Yeah, don't tell them it's for the wedding because they'll triple the prices. Sons of bitches.
It's kind of like never get an Uber from LAX. Walk to the In-N-Out outside of the airport, then call an Uber. It's like $30 cheaper.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
How come? Just
because there was like a big fight between Uber and the cab companies.
Yeah.
And the like solution they had was for the cab companies and Uber now have their own like area.
Yeah.
But because of how much Uber had to pay to share with the cab companies, they raised the price to like get their money back. So if you do it from the In-N-Out, it's cheaper.
Yeah, we're gonna be packing light, but it should be very fun.
Yeah,
I'm very excited.
Me too.
I've never been to LA.
It's gonna be a good time. And then like the even funnier part is like we come back from winter break. I'm there at school for 3 days, and then I take off the Thursday, the Friday, the Tuesday, and the Wednesday, and the Thursday of the next week.
Not Monday?
Martin Luther King Day.
Oh, I didn't know.
So never don't have to.
Drew, I like LAX was so bad. It's not that bad. I don't know.
This is tourist tips. When you put an apostrophe after my name, you don't need the second S. You just do ATLS apostrophe for the possessive.
You do you, Zaragoza. Okay, you do you. You spell it however you want.
Gotta love when people come in from different cities and they're like, okay, so I want to see downtown, and then I want to see the Santa Monica Pier, and then I want to go to Pasadena, and then I'm like, that's not gonna work like that because they're like, what? It's only 5 miles in each direction. I'm like, that's not how. No, just don't. It's time, not distance in LA. If you want to try and like do stuff in a like in the city, try and do it roughly in one direction. So like start east, go west, or start west, go east, that kind of thing. But also for like you don't have as much time as you think you do.
I would rather go the furthest and then come back in a row.
Yeah, that's probably a good way to do it.
Yeah.
Especially if you like time it right with the traffic going a certain way, north, south, east, or west.
That's one thing my wife so she goes into the office 2 days a week, and so but we like if I'm taking her, we leave at like 9:30, which I'm like is not much traffic or anything. And then I pick her up at 4, and it's like the traffic's just getting kind of thick, but It's not a long drive, so I'm like, okay, like we just talk about our day and that's it. So it's really actually convenient, and I'm like, that's one thing that I really enjoy, because before she used to go to work at like, I'm already at work at 9 o'clock, and I'm like, that's a horrible idea. Working at 9 fucking sucks.
Yeah. That's one upside of like working into school is you leave at 3:30. So
Yeah,
there's like a they're the teachers that will stay after school for this or that thing. And I'm
yeah,
like,
yeah,
I'm not doing that, especially because for a lot of the teachers, they live a lot closer than I
yeah,
do. Like one of
yeah.
the teachers is like, "Oh, it's like 20 minutes away." I'm like, "I'll kill you." Like, um,
Wow, that's crazy.
9:30 to 4, is she on the mercantile exchange? Oh, that makes
Yeah.
sense. That's funny. Um, it's, yeah, and, I feel like I wanna cherish this, not just this break for the 3 weeks of break that it provides, but
Doing
also
fuck all. That's
yeah,
what you're gonna
doing
be.
kinda doing fuck all, but also it's the only break where my wedding is still ahead of me
Yeah,
instead of, like,
it's the
that's
last one.
that's the last big thing, and then, like, aside from that, it's like, what, having a baby, if that, and
Yeah. Well, like that's yeah. Jesus. I don't. That's a bad way of looking at shit, Atlas. God,
I'm sorry, no, but just,
you are
like, I
so true. I always thought you were a positive person, but
I am a
you.
positive person, and it's not in like a like, "Don't know what you got till it's gone." Not like that. I mean, like, I'm just trying to, cherish the moment I have so that, I can look back on it with more,
Fond memories.
more fond memories instead of just being like, "Oh, I didn't know what I had at the time," you know? I'm trying to be more self-aware of the
Oh,
moment, you know?
maybe sentimental.
Sentimental,
Yeah.
sure. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, I had a weed gummy last night and was super sentimental, so I was, like, texting a bunch of people being like, "I
Oh,
love you, dude." Like, just like, here's a fun one. This was to, uh, the best person at my wedding. "I'm on a blackberry weed gummy, and I'm feeling really sentimental. You're my best friend, and I'm so glad we met and stayed friends after we both left the job we met at."
mm.
Heart emoji. "I hope we stay in contact till we're old and playing Mario Kart in a nursing home together."
Yeah. That is fan. Yeah, that
Yeah.
sounds great. That's very thoughtful. Dino would have put a gay flag reaction if you did that in the group chat. Absolutely. You're absolutely right. That's exactly it. My first response. I'm like, that is super gay, but also, listen, I'm high off my tits right now, so I completely understand. That's sometimes you have to be emotional with friends. That's how Atlas is literally Ned
Literally Ned
Flanders.
Flanders. I mean,
Diddle,
like, with a
diddle, diddle.
mustache? Yeah, no, I just need a pair of glasses.
He's like lumberjack. Like, okay, remember how there was the skiing Ned Flanders was like nothing
Yeah.
at all,
Yeah,
nothing
nothing
at
at
all.
all. Yeah.
Stupid sexy Flanders.
Yeah.
So you're like the lumberjack version of Ned Flanders. You're like his lumberjack cousin. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely.
I'll be
Yeah.
in a Ketchikan, Alaska,
Nothing
felling
at
trees.
all. Nothing
Nothing
at
at
all. There you,
all. Nothing at
thank you,
all.
Victoria.
Yeah.
There you go.
Howdy diddly diddly, neighborino. Yeah.
I'll run you over in my
California
diddly car.
Ned. Oh, that's not a bad episode title, Joey.
That
That's
is
no. I'll probably have to keep something about a bubble. Um,
Atlas Nocock. Shout out
Assless no cock.
Atlas,
Yeah.
Atlas Nocock. There you
Mm,
go. That's California Ned. That's your
yeah.
like polite pseudonym, but the other one is Atlas Nocock.
I mean,
Man,
I already have that character, California Jones, right? Which is like, I need to do one. I need to do another California Jones sketch. I haven't done one in a while.
when I meet Atlas, I am now afraid I will call him Ned.
Ned
Accidentally.
accidentally.
100. I'm gonna call him Ned. Okay, are you kidding me? Good old pull out Novak.
Damn it, Joey. Gonna fucking like.
Oh, Assless Nocock sounds like Atlas' new name in Flop Tropica. What the hell's Flop Tropica?
I have no idea. I have no fucking idea.
When you start traveling, you start introducing yourself. Hi, I'm Assless Nocock.
Yeah.
I mean, how did you? Okay, like realistically, like that is a solid fucking burn. Right?
It is okay. This came from circa 2007. My bully Jack Gerstein was his name.
You son of a bitch.
And it was just literally, I was just walking in school one day, and he said it, and I literally stopped in my tracks, like, huh.
Like, fucking great. Like, that's
like
top tier.
It was such a good burn. I had to stop and be like, not only is that super hurtful, but also like it's well written, it's perfect. Like
no fat. There was no fat on that.
Jack Gerstein, I don't know if you're still out there, but I have talked about this on stage. I have talked about this on podcasts, and you are a legend forevermore because of that.
Yeah. What's this? Jackass cuck steal my wing. What the fuck does that even mean?
Because he's trying to make something out of Jack Gerstein, I think.
There you go.
Yeah. But yeah, Jack Gerstein was like 3 times my size, giant dude. For 7th grade.
He's 18 feet tall, people. He's 18 feet tall.
That. It's kind of like how when you're a kid and like one of the things for my teaching credentials, you got to take classes with a district, and one of them is about like child development. And they were talking about the last class we did before break was about puberty, and I mentioned in class that like the reason puberty is so awful is all the stuff that worked last year when you were in 5th grade or whatever stops working all at once because not everyone has like the switch flicked at the same time for like starting puberty. So like some of the stuff that you're saying in 5th grade that's like getting a laugh or like making you popular is just like ew, gross. Like with some people, like the stuff that worked last year is just all of a sudden not working and your body's on fire. Like it's just not, it sucks. Puberty fucking sucks. And yeah.
Oh, that's Jesus, Atlas, you're fucking tripping me out here, bro. That is like, okay, this is the thing is that like I grew fast, right? But I'm like, I've always been bigger than everyone else.
Mm-hmm.
So like the weird thing is like I'm also like I think I was supposed to be a little bit taller, to be honest, because I'm like I have ape arms and a giant head, and I'm like yeah, but I'm like I have broad shoulders and everything. It's weird. But that being the fact that yeah, that fucking I'm like I tried never to bully people, but there are a couple of people I'm like, hey, fuck you. I just don't fucking like you. Will I address the rumors of you being in the Dancing Bear group? I mean, if there is one, I'd happily do it. I think I could fight a bear. Pound for pound, I could fuck up a bear.
5 nights at Dino's, yeah.
Absolutely. Oh,
here,
absolutely.
I found him. I found him on Facebook here.
Is he dead? What is he?
No. So I think he was in the military based on his the last couple posts. Here, I'll send the picture. He's the guy on the right in the picture that I just sent.
What did you send me? Jesus.
It's in black and white. But yeah, he's the guy on the right. So just imagine that guy with no beard. Like giant dude.
So he's on the
that's the guy who came up with Assless Nocock. Is that guy.
Well, he is funny looking, that's for fucking sure.
Yeah.
fucking what the fuck, bro? That guy is. Hold on, I gotta share this. Do you mind if I share?
You gotta show it to everybody.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Fuck, I am. It's a great fucking picture.
Yeah. What is that duck that they have?
I have no fucking clue, but this is okay. So he's on the right, you said?
Yeah, he's on the right with the.
Look at this fat piece of shit. Holy fuck!
Yeah, so this guy on the right.
I think the ducks.
Yeah, is the right there.
Yeah,
that's Jack Gerstein.
Fuck. I would have bullied. I would have bullied him. Just to be very clear.
He was 3 times my size. I couldn't.
No.
Yeah.
I'm not saying, but that's the thing is like that's where we're different. Is that I would have if he stepped to. So I will throw down the law amongst big people. And people are like, "Oh, you want to go?" I'm like, "Do you want to go?" And they're like, "No, I do not." I'm like, "Then shut the fuck up." I'm like, I will like it gets. So this is the thing is even Kyle and I get into this a couple times is that it's like we're both big. So it's like, oh, I'm dealing with a normal person, right? Which I'm like, no, it's not. I'm like, listen, I can just throw you out of my way. I don't give a shit, right? Whereas Kyle can't do that. Whereas he can normally do that. I can normally do that. We can't do it to each other, right? So it's a different kind of weird thing. He looks like Lep.
It says on his profile, outfitter and tropical fish breeder.
I mean,
and like a lot of his
has gone on, I guess, and fucking job.
A lot of his pictures have like stuff about hunting, so I just imagine he's like out in the boonies somewhere doing.
But he smells like sardines too. I think it's just more like he's got an assless no cock.
Camping and hunting, turning, but I'm like indoorsy or whatever.
No, that's where we're going to take you out camping and hunting. No, so I like going out into the wild, but at the same time, I'm like, I'm old. I don't want to sleep on the ground. So I have an air mattress with its own batteries and everything. Like I'm like, yeah, no, I'm going to take the time to do that extra stuff. Like I have a comfy chair that's up to like 500-pound person, which I'm like, yeah, I used to need that shit. You can teach me how to hunt and camp while we are there. Military people are so damn annoying based on my experiences. I've only had good experiences. I don't know.
Military people, like looking at it now, I don't think he is. I think he just kind of hangs out with them.
Maybe. Who knows?
Okay. Yeah, looking at it, in retrospect, I think they're just in like camo for hunting. I don't think they're.
Well, maybe he's just whatchamacallit, an enthusiast.
Yeah, okay, so like 5 days ago, Seymour duck hunt Monday morning. We're targeting widgeon, pintail. Like he's a hunter. It's fine. He's like.
He looks like a hillbilly.
And
you went to school with him? How does that?
I went to school with him. And like he didn't beat me up or anything. He was just all.
Is he like 7 years older than you though?
I don't think so. I think he was just a big dude. Like
was
even in his
put the
picture
back
up
9 years.
Put the picture up again. He's fucking giant. Look at this guy. Like that guy was rough. Like that's roughly the size he was in 7th grade. I think he just
Jesus.
I think he just grew really fast, like you.
Yeah.
And just continues to be that size.
How tall is he? Is he about your height now, or?
He's tall. He was taller than me, like because I got to 6 foot in like 11th grade.
Yeah.
And he was like still taller than me in like late 10th grade. So
he not only he was comparable height, but way sooner than you were.
Yeah, and just in 7th grade, you know, fucking.
Well, I was in the service, and I am crazy knowing that's also true.
That's true.
Must be a Gen Z experience. Also true. That's a very
I don't think he's military. I think he just hunts, which fine. Like that's a hobby.
He likes to think he's the last line of defense when it comes to the nation's freedom. Yeah, that's fine.
He was in the slums of Beverly Hills, part of Atlas's.
Right, like that. Okay, so it's not just me that.
Yeah, because I grew up on the west side of LA in like Santa Monica, so all my middle school bullies went to military high school. They were very annoying and pretty racist. I don't know if
but was it the fun kind of race? Was it kind of the fun kind of racist or the not fun racist? Because
I don't know. I got partnered with him for a science fair project, and that was kind of all the hanging out that we ever did. And like that was in 8th grade. That wasn't fun.
No.
Yeah.
That sounds horrible.
Not fun. Yeah.
You are full of interesting stories today, there, Atlas. About
you. Oh, hey, I don't know. I just sent him a friend request. Maybe he'll answer, and I'll report back next week.
This has escalated so quickly.
I know. Our comment section is wilding out today. I don't know.
Very underrated movie, Slums of Beverly Hills. All right. Not fun racist. Oh, that's the worst kind. You try being a queer Mexican during 2010. bro.
That is a rough time.
Yeah, you get a medal. That's
yeah.
Ooh, man.
The science project. It was we were growing radishes under different colors of light to see if it would make it grow faster or not.
Fancy.
I don't know. It was fucking 8th grade science fair. Like,
next thing you know, Jack Hammer is gonna be hanging out with us on street.
Maybe he will. I'll see if he answers me, and then we'll go reach out to him, see what happens. I think it'd be fun.
You'd be like, so you wanted to kill Atlas. Tell us about it.
He didn't want to kill me. He just had like a very,
you never know,
very hilarious and scathing nickname. That's it.
Yeah, very much so. Yeah. Like, bro, no fat on that bad boy.
Yeah.
All
right. Well, for people listening to this episode, may you have a very happy holidays. Merry Christmas. We'll be back next Thursday, so that's between Christmas and New Year's, right? Is that
Thursday? Yeah, that's whatever.
Yeah, like a new episode coming. God damn it, Joey, go away. So happy holidays, everybody. Tell your friends. Thanks for listening. At Generation Dan on all the platforms. At Atlas Novak. At Dino the Genetic Marvel. We're not hard to find.
No. Yeah. Also because I'm gigantic. Haha.
Haha. And thanks, everybody. We'll see you next time. Bye.